Chapter 311. Harold's father was trembling in fright as Stephen growled at him. He had no doubt about Stephen's remarks. As someone who was regarded as the king of the underworld and had ruled the underworld for many years, killing 2 people was a piece of cake for him. He looked desperately at the 2 brawny men who were dragging Olivia and went up to Emma to ask for help. "Emma, could you please talk to them? She's your cousin. How could you just watch her being taken away?" Emma pursed her lips and said to the brawny men, "Please stop, she was confused, she didn't mean to hurt me." Emma found Olivia irritating, but they were cousins, after all. She couldn't bear seeing her being beaten by these men. Stephen looked back at Alex and waited for his orders. Alex smiled and said, "Why are you looking at me?" "Listen to what my wife says, then." Stephen ordered his men, "Since Mrs. Anderson has stated her view, let them go." Alex nodded and turned his gaze at Lady Richard. "See? I told you, you're not welcome here. Get lost when I ask nicely, or I'll let Stephen's men kick you out of here." The enraged Lady Richard clutched her fists and clenched her jaw furiously. She trembled so violently that she couldn't even stand still, but she didn't dare to stay there any longer. Harold's father took her arm and they quickly walked out. Olivia, on the other hand, was still yelling hysterically, "No! I don't want to leave. I want to kill the bitch. Let go of me. I want to kill her." Stephen kicked her mercilessly and growled, "Shut up or I'll cut off your tongue." Terrified at his sister's maddening behavior, Harold helped her up and said hurriedly, "Olivia, let's go home." Lady Richard sighed repeatedly as she walked out of Emma's new office. Her intention today was to mock Emma and induce her to return to the Richard family with a little pressure. Unexpectedly, Emma was not on the same page anymore, with so many prominent figures backing her up. It seemed that the Richard family could no longer deceive her into returning to their side. Lady Richard was feeling extremely depressed and upset. Since Emma did not have any intention to return to the Richard family, there went their only hope to revive the family. Bankruptcy and the end of their business was the only resort now. If only she had known it would come to this. Emma could finally heave a sigh of relief after the Richard family left in disgrace. However, the lively atmosphere in her office made her nervous again. The VIPs were gathering under her roof, but her office was too small to accommodate so many people and it was not very convenient to move around. Then, she saw many Blue Moon Building staff hustling around her office, serving the guests snacks and drinks. The building belonged to the Diamond Group, after all. One phone call from Doris was enough for these people to put their work aside immediately and come to help at Emma's office. Doris walked to Emma and said, "Mrs. Anderson, Blue Moon Building is our property. Since you've chosen to open your office here, we have something for you in return." She gestured at a middle-aged man and said, "This is Archer, the manager of this building. I've told him that in the future, the offices on this floor will gradually be emptied out for your use." Emma waved her hands frantically and said, "Oh no, Miss Young, you don't have to do that. This office is enough for the time being since I'm the only one working here. I have no use for such a large space. Besides, I can't afford it." Archer hurriedly handed over a check with the value of 180 grand written on it and said, "Mrs. Anderson, this is the 1-year rent that you've paid in advance. For your information, we will bear all the rent, utilities, property fees, air conditioning fees, and heating fees of your office in the future."